Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. The following video will contain spoilers from the Flash next to last episode of Season 3 titled Infantino Street. Viewer discretion is advised. If you don't want anything spoiled or ruined for you, stop watching now. Hey guys, Dave here. I just finished watching the episode for the first time on the night of premieres, and I can honestly say this was 90 minutes of action-packed TV in a 60-minute episode. We start off with 24 hours to go before Iris is killed. Everyone on Team Flash is trying to figure out how to fix things. Barry and Iris are lying awake in their bed trying to find some kind of peace. Iris is hungry for caviar. He goes running to go get some, and she takes out his phone and starts to record a special private message, but we'd never get to see what it is said until much later in the episode. Later that day, Cisco and Barry go to Argus and meet up with Lila and say the power source we need to fix this is from the Dominator's tech, and it's in that building for Argus. And Lila admits that it's too dangerous and she doesn't know if she can trust Barry to let it out. Barry is desperate. They also discover that there are power dampeners all throughout the building, so no one can use their powers getting in. So they know that only a master thief would be able to get in there, so Barry decides to recruit one. He goes back in time to 1892 Siberia, and he finds Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, back during his time of Season 1 with Legends of Tomorrow. After some fun verbal jousting that Captain Cold is wont to do, he finally manages to talk him into helping him out to save Iris. And it's really fun to see these two interacting again. Let's face it, I mean, Wentworth Miller brought one hell of a character to life with his version of Captain Cold. So it's a buddy adventure trying to get in there to stop it. Meanwhile, Tracy's trying to perfect the Speed Force bazooka, and everyone's just trying to prepare to save Iris. While this is going on, they tell Iris to get someplace safe and not to tell Barry so he won't remember. Meanwhile, Savitar is repairing his suit, having a conversation with Killer Frost. They're talking about their former identities and really where things kind of went off the rails for them. And pretty much killing the past to become the gods that they are talking about being. At that point, Savitar gets a flash, pun intended, of what Snart's going to be doing with the team, and he figures, screw it, let them. Let's see what happens. So, next thing we know, we see Lila appearing to bring in Snart, who after he's given a pep talk about where the thing's going to be in the deepest, darkest part of Argus. He's got set up for how to follow the plan and just for Barry to follow him. Lila's taking in him in the form of Han Solo pretending to be a stormtrooper and bringing in Chewbacca. Everything goes well thanks to the image inducer that Harry had from his Earth that allows him to look like someone else. But when it came time for the password Elvis Banana and a code phrase to be said after that, Barry freaks out, knocks out the guards, and turns the scanner off. So now they're heading downward and to take care of things. They find Grodd. They find a cell for Cheetah, which is interesting. At least I thought they said Cheetah. I'll have to take a look at it again, but I thought they said Cheetah. If that's the case, then that's a Wonder Woman reference right there. We also saw Cupid, so it looks like this may be in where Amanda Waller was housing Task Force X. They find the room, and guess what? It's being guarded by King Shark, who Snart thinks the name is absolutely adorable. And Barry is actually prepared to use Captain Cold's gun to kill King Shark. Snart surprises us by dropping some facts about blood temperature and how if they just cool the room down, it would actually knock King Shark out without having to kill him. So Captain Cold reminds Barry about being a hero. He removes the core of his cold gun, throws it in, and it makes it very eerie. It has this nice fog thing. King Shark pops up a couple times with his fin up like something out of Jaws. They manage to get the device, and then the door starts to close. Barry goes running out. She manages to get out, but The only way they were able to hack into it before was thanks to Snart. Even Cisco had a trouble trying to be able to do that. So now he's trapped inside. He can't get to the panel, and King Shark is waking up. More cute banter is going on, where Snart says, if Cisco gets me out of this, I'll put in a good word with my sister. And Snart manages to get out, but he gets caught by King Shark. Barry's managing to pull him. Cisco manages to drop the door down, cutting King Shark's hand off. At which point, Snart looks and says, been there. And King Shark, fortunately, apparently has the ability to regenerate and grows his hand back. Everything seems in the clear, but the real Lila shows up, guns in hand with Argus, and captures Barry and Snart. They manage to talk about what's going on, but Barry convinces Lila that if he wasn't just going full dark side, because he was willing to return and save Snart, is when he could have just cut and run. So that shows that maybe he can be trusted. And Barry would do the same thing and do anything he could to save John if that was the case. So she gives him the Dominator tech. Everything looks fine. Barry drops Snart back off in the past. Next thing we know, the Flash seems to be running into Star Labs. He says that everything's good and manages to trick not HR, but Harry. No, it's HR. HR into revealing the location that Iris is on Earth 2, which he goes running to get him. So Joe, Harry, Wally, they're trying to save him, and after a brief fight, Wally gets his ass kicked seriously, and his leg broken. Savitar, revealing his face, shows the true nature of his evil and just how separate he is from Barry. He takes Iris in front of them. The crew manages to reassemble and get ready to meet in Infantino Street to have the showdown with Savitar, this time armed with the Speed Force bazooka. HR is just unforgivingly pounding on himself because he was the one that felt stupid enough to slip up and tell Savitar who he was, or where he was, when he hasn't really contributed to the team. Cisco gives him his talk like, it could have been any of us. And, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. Meanwhile, Cisco gets a vibe where Caitlin is, and he's been dreading the showdown. All the time since Caitlin revealed that she was turning into Killer Frost, he didn't want to admit that he's been getting vibes of her and having to fight her. So now that showdown is happening. It's Vibe versus Killer Frost. These two are fighting, and after a few good shots, Vibe is down, and Killer Frost is heading his way like a shark. After the Flash shows up on Infantino Street to face Savitar, Joe's covering him with the gun, so it's not a Harry or HR. This time it's Joe. Tracy's in the van. She's calibrated the Speed Force bazooka. After a few shots and misses, Barry finally hits Savitar, and it looks like it's working until he shakes it off. And Savitar admits, I'm from the future where you trapped me in the Speed Force. You think I wouldn't know how to fix it again? So he used the Philosopher's Stone, which was a concentrated ingot of Speed Force. He used it as a power boost. And the vision that we had been fighting for half a season plays out in front of us. The Flash runs to try to stop Savitar from killing Iris. And before the moment cuts away, the video that Iris records is revealed. That on camera, she admits to taking Barry as her lawful wedded husband. Until death do they part. And she does. Savitar stabs her. Barry catches her in his arms, and the god of speed is born, while Joe breaks down. And that's where it cuts away. I didn't expect that death to happen on tonight's episode. I expected it to happen next week. It was amazing. I mean, I've seen better episodes offhand, but this was a nail-biter. I mean, this was action-packed. It was dramatic. It was a fairly decent episode. I mean, this season may have had its ups and downs, and it was a little iffy for being this close to the end of the season, but this was potent. Even though we all knew what the end was coming, there was always that doubt and that possibility of changing things. but not this time. Next Tuesday is going to be huge. I don't see any fans not wanting to tune in to see The Flash unless for some reason they physically can't. But, I mean, prepare yourself for this episode. I laughed, damn near cried. It's a tour de force. And one of my fans, Chico, was here. Thank you very much for pointing this out. To make the run on Argus, Barry, dressed in a black jumpsuit, very reminiscent of Oliver as Night Badger. So we've got Oliver, Mon-El does the Night Badger thing, and now Barry. Everyone wants to be Night Badger. So it's not the Arrowverse, it's the Badgerverse, apparently. So, just throwing that in there. I'm going to have to mention that in my next Arrow Roast, so look forward to that. But guys, this was just heavy. I mean, it was great seeing Leonard again. Thank goodness time travel was done in a good way here. And he was definitely one of the most charismatic guys. He was definitely one of the best parts of the show. And seeing his transformation, as well as the foreboding of what's to come. I mean, There Are No Strings on Me is starting to be up there with David Tennant saying, I don't want to go. So, it's pretty potent. It's emotionally gut-wrenching, so just prepare yourself, guys. There's going to be tissues. And Iris West looks like she has fallen. But she technically fell in the comics, so she got better. There's always a hope that things will be fixed. So, fingers crossed, and let's see what happens next week. What did you guys think of the episode? Please like, comment, subscribe, share, pass this bad boy around, and let's feel free to talk about it. This was a pretty darn amazing episode tonight. I'm going to have a hard time sleeping tonight, I think. It was that hype. Alright, guys. Take care. Peace.